Hi, Go family. It is Zara Barry. I am the senior writer here at Go Magazine, and I am also the author of the forthcoming book, Girls Stop Passing Out Your Makeup, The Bad Girl's Guide to Getting Your Shit Together. Its official release date is on Tuesday. God, I'm like forgetting the date. Guys, I'm really nervous. I'm just going to be straight up with you. The official date is on May 19th. So I really I'm going to have like a Facebook launch and a Q&A and all that formal stuff. But before I did that, it was really important to me that I had an intimate moment with my Go family, because Go has been my home for like the past 3 or 4 years, and it's where I've done all my writing, and I've formed so many connections with you, and I just love you guys so much. I couldn't have written this book without your endless support, without Go's support, without the support of the whole Go family team. Amy Lesser, I love you. So I'm not going to talk too much. I'm going to just get right to it. I do have to give a trigger warning for sure. This chapter is not like fun, free-floating, woohoo. This chapter deals with addiction. It deals with alcohol abuse, drug abuse, sexual assault, and all of that kind of stuff. Specifically sexual assault. So if you want to back out now, like, that is totally okay. I totally get it. I have backed out of so many readings and plays and things in my life. And if you want to click off. If you want to stay with me, that would be lovely. Let's feel things together. Actually, the title of the chapter is called Feelings Can't Kill You. And the reason I wanted to share this chapter is because I feel like it's about the start of my journey of just healing and learning to not be afraid of my feelings, which is what I would say the heart of this book is about, is learning not to fear your feelings. Again, I'm nervous because this is a very personal chapter, and because this is the first reading I've ever done of this book. So bear with me. I'll probably have like lipstick smeared all over me. I'll probably burp. I will probably knock this over, knock this down. My cat will probably fly in. Like, totally imperfect, flawed human here. Nothing glossy about me. So bear with me, and let's get started. First of all, though, in case you guys haven't seen, this is the cover. It is actually a mirror selfie, a real mirror selfie that I took. I didn't realize it was going to be the book cover, but I took it in the bathroom at a gay nightclub in Hell's Kitchen, Hardware. And it ended up being the book cover because I just felt like it captured the essence of what this book is about. So, here we go. Feelings can't kill you. And there's a song for every chapter, and the song for this chapter is I Am Not a Robot by Marina and the Diamonds. So if you want to put that on in the background, feel free, or if you want to listen to it later, it's a really great song. I'm sitting pretty in a tiny, trendy, wannabe Bushwick speakeasy style bar in Sarasota, Florida. I'm with my girlfriend Lila and our 3 best friends, Josh, Maddie, and Eduarda. We are hungrily slugging back booze as if it's the last time our lips will ever grace a wine glass. Even though I've slurped back at least 6 cocktails in the span of 4 drunken hours, this particular night I feel very on edge, on the verge of inexplicable tears. I'm too fuzzy-brained from the mix of booze and my daily cocktail of antidepressants to know why I'm suddenly overcome with such acute feelings of restlessness. Big, dramatic fire alarms begin to sound off in my brain. Suddenly I hear a loud, screeching voice boom through a megaphone. "Attention, Zara!" the voice screams. "You're in a state of emergency! You're starting to feel things!" I take a prim sip of my cocktail and dab the corners of my mouth with a pale pink silk napkin. The screams carry on despite the calm debutante energy I am attempting to radiate into the universe. Emergency! Code red. You're experiencing emotions. This is very, very dangerous. Emergency! I reach into my makeup bag. I pull out my wand of my brand new Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara and apply a fresh coat of inky black goo onto my lashes. I grab my lip gloss and smother it across my mouth. I can feel my lips gleaming in the candlelight that softly flickers at the center of the table. I take another, very prim, sip of my cocktail. The screams are so loud now, I swear I can see the wallpaper starting to curl. Screw it. I dig my fingernails. I dig my fingertips, the nails bitten down into my messy purse. My heart races as I furiously search for a prescription bottle. I touch a comb, a pack of gum, my cell phone. Where the hell is my Klonopin? I could feel my blood pressure rise. Finally, my fingers brush against that oh so familiar plastic bottle with its oh so comfortingly sweet child-proof cap. I keep my eyes fixated on my friends' giggling faces and let my fingers do the work. Pop. The cap pops off. Never underestimate the muscle memory of a pillhead's fingers. I laugh along with my friends as my hands fish out a sapphire blue pill from the bottle and discreetly shove it into my mouth. Just as my tongue basks in the bitter chemical taste of a waterless pill, I feel daggers in my face. Why are you taking pills? We are drinking, Lila screams, her larger-than-life Mickey Mouse eyes stretched open so wide I can see the whites all the way around them like Joan Crawford's character in Mommy Dearest. Sorry guys, there we go. Shh! Lila, everybody is staring at us, I whisper. The cold sweat of embarrassment tiptoes down my spine. I need rumors flying around about my pill-popping habits like I need a hole in the head. This is a small town. Lila takes a fat swig of her whiskey. Steam pours out of her ears like a chimney in a Christmas cartoon. I pray to my higher power, Lana Del Rey, that the pretty blue chill pill will please, please, please kick in. Fast. I don't care who the hell hears us, Lila roars, her shiny mane of stick-straight, perfect hair eerily juxtaposed against her demonic-looking face. Maddie's soft blue eyes stare into the untouched plate of truffle fries that dangerously teeter towards the edge of the table. Josh smiles wickedly, as if he's about to witness a table-flipping, Real Housewives of New Jersey moment. Prostitution, whore, I think to myself, fighting back the strange urge to giggle. Eduardo firmly touches Lila's arm. Lila, calm down, he says, his Mexican accent rich with an exotic authority one would be damned to question. Lila freezes like a statue. You're a drug addict, she says slowly, as if she's explaining quantum theory to the village idiot. A drug addict. I kick her under the table. I am not. I have anxiety. I can feel the eyes of a couple I know, a couple my parents frequently cocktail party with, watching us like we're polar bears behind glass in the Central Park Zoo. My girlfriend is a drug addict, Lila says, this time casually as if it's yesterday's rad mad gossip. The voice booms once again through the megaphone. You're feeling feelings, run, run. I imagine the voice attached to it, a scary, impossibly pale, inbred-looking woman, the kind of woman you see protesting at gay pride parades. I slither out of my seat and grab my handbag in one elegant swoop. I gallop out of the bar with the grace of a gazelle, even though I'm just an inebriated 25-year-old girl teetering in 6-inch heels, hopped up on a cocktail of pharmaceuticals. The moment I step outside and breathe in the balmy summer air, I feel a lump in my throat. I fight the lump. I try to swallow the lump. I crush it with my teeth, spit it out onto the pavement. It's always Zara versus the throat lump, and tonight we are duking it out in a courtroom. Zara, what the hell? Lila shouts. She has chased me outside. I look around for my gentle army of homosexual boys. but they are tucked inside the safe four walls of the bar, politely avoiding the primal lesbian drama taking place in the wild. I lean my body up against the ATM machine. I hold my breath. I know that breathing means feeling and feeling means, well, dying perhaps. So I kick the ATM machine and clench my fist so hard I feel calluses form on the insides of my hands. I take in the vision of Lila. She is beautiful, even in the throes of a tantrum. She is curvy and swaggy and ethereal all at once. Her waist-length hair looks like two silk champagne-colored curtains that frame her bone-white face. I love her. She is good. I am good. But together, we are bad. Maybe it's all the booze in my bloodstream, or maybe it's the great divine. Truthfully, I don't know what the hell it is, but I feel a very sudden shift inside of me. A shift that is so powerful it feels almost spiritual. I know right then and there that I can't live like this anymore. See, I've always known, since I was a little kid, that I was supposed to do big things with my life. Big, extraordinary things. Things that don't involve discreetly tossing numbing chemical mechanisms into my body. Things that don't involve a toxic relationship that drains me of my energy. Things that don't involve kicking a poor ATM machines on beautiful summer evenings. The truth is this behavior, this pill-popping, booze-swigging, girlfriend-fighting, ATM-attacking behavior, none of it is me. I know that. My core nature has always been honest, raw, funny, wild, expressive, gentle. The foundation of who I once was has been stepped on too many times, and my real self has slipped through the floorboards. I miss her, my old self, the opinionated teenager who made art in her bedroom till 2 a.m. on a school night, the 8th grader who furiously scrawled poetry all over her binders during algebra, the ambitious 18-year-old who blasted angry 90s girl music in her car and screamed along to every single lyric as she happily tore through the suburbs. I can't do this anymore, I hear myself say. Lila's eyes bulge. She looks like a pretty female toad. That's what happens to her face when she fights back tears. It breaks my heart. I frantically wave down a taxi, a rare find in a small town. The second the rough leather texture of the back seat rubs up against my shivering bare legs, the pill kicks in. The next morning, I wake up in the same bed I slept in as a teen. In a wise move for a girl deep in a benzo haze, I had requested the taxi drive me to my parents' house rather than to the apartment I share with Lila. I pull the comforter over my head. It still reeks of adolescent hormonal fervor. I stare at the Bright Eyes poster still duct taped to the wall by my bed. My heart feels hollow. Pills. My girlfriend is a drug addict. You're a drug addict. Cocktails. Fire alarms in my head. Pills. Can't live like this anymore. Zara verse lump in throat. Taxi freedom. Pill freedom. Holy shit. When did my life become such a hot mess? But oh, on the outside, my... Sorry guys, a delivery of course just happened. This is the beauty of a live performance. Guys, it's okay. My dogs are very protective. Anyway, okay, let's take it back. Okay. Holy shit. When did my life become such a hot mess? But oh, on the outside, my life looks perfect. I am a natural born party girl, and no one can fake it like a natural born party girl. For example, I have a million friends. I have a fabulous wardrobe. I have the dream job for a local publication. I live with my hot girlfriend in a retro-looking apartment complex that has a gym and an Olympic-sized pool. Lila and I get invited to all the parties, from the grunge to the glam to the gay to the high society. Young girls look up to me. They invite me for coffee and ask me for career advice. My family is amazing. My hair extensions are extra virgin, and I didn't even have to pay full price for them. The salon gave them to me at cost. That's how fucking good my life is. Or at least how good I make it look. But the inside is an entirely different story. No one knows that I experience vivid, horrifying nightmares every single night. Nightmares so dark I have grown to fear sleep. I haven't fallen asleep in years without the help of Ambien or Klonopin. And girl, I'm not stupid. I know that this little habit is quickly metamorphosing into a dangerous addiction. I am throwing up my food at least 3 times a week thanks to my escalating eating disorder, a secret not even my live-in girlfriend is privy to. I suspect I will never, ever know life without antidepressants. When I go to all those glittery parties, I'm not having fun. I can tell you that much. Yes, I show up to the parties dressed to the nines, all red lipstick and heels, but not because I want to have fun. I show up because I want to cop a hit of the shittiest, most fleeting, most effective, quick fix drug on the market, validation. And deep down in the underbelly of my gut lives a top secret trauma. I stay still in bed, frozen. The images and words from the night continue to play on in my head on a loop. Pills, my girlfriend is a drug addict, you're a drug addict, cocktails, fire alarms in my head. Pills, can't live like this anymore. Zara versus lump in throat, taxi, freedom, pill freedom. Just as I'm about to fall back asleep, I hear a voice. It's time, I hear a woman's voice gently purr. It is the voice of the wise woman who lives inside of me. She lights up a cigarette. She looks at me with warm eyes. Time for what? I ask. Some might call the wise woman who lives inside of me my instincts or my higher self or my gut or whatnot. I call her Sharon. Sharon is safe and reliable, and I am always grateful when she unexpectedly shows up and provides me with some of her maternal guidance. Come to think of it, Sharon hadn't been around in a while. Therapy, she replies, carefully examining her manicure. It is French and square-tipped. Very early 2000s. I side-eyed her and crossed my arms. Therapy, Zara, she practically sings, twirling her Virginia Slim in the air. She runs her fingers through her blonde bob haircut. A sensible Coach bag dutifully hangs from her broad, sturdy shoulders. I conclude then and there that Sharon is definitely from the Midwest. You know what you need to do, she says, lowering her voice a good 3 octaves. She winks, and off she goes, leaving me choking in a cloud of cigarette smoke and musky fragrance. Sharon is right. Sharon is always right. I spend the rest of the afternoon Googling therapists. I finally stumble across the website of a woman named Catherine. Catherine has short, cool blonde hair and a smile so kind you could feel it heat up your skin through this screen. She reminds me of someone. She reminds me of Sharon. I book an appointment with her for the following day. That night, I crawl into bed completely sober for the first time in at least a year. By sober, I mean no sleeping pills, no downers, no wine, no weed. And I sleep like an angel who has finally landed upon heaven's first cloud. Ha! More like I sleep like a junkie withdrawing from heroin. I writhe around in bed that night like a python suffering through its first night of captivity. I'm not sure I slept a wink that night. All the pills I could ever dream of sit pretty in their plastic bottle homes a few drawers south of my bed. For whatever reason, though, I don't feel tempted to take them. I let myself simmer in the sleepless hell because I know the pills are only going to send me into a different kind of hell. A hell that stops me from being able to tell which flames are real and which flames are fake. If I'm gonna burn, I want to at least know what it is that's burning me, you know? Catherine's office smells like Nag Champa incense and is far more bohemian than I expected. I had envisioned white leather upholstery, smooth white marble coffee tables, the smell of Chanel No. 5 softly lingering in the flower-fragrant air. Instead, I met with a heavy antique wooden table, Tibetan peace flags, and pale pink crystals. I spot a dream catcher hanging in the window. Oh dear. Something about the earnestness of Catherine's faux hippie office soothes me, even though I resist feeling that way. The snob in me never wins in the end. I'm too soft to be a snob. How are you? Catherine asks, looking at me intently. That's when it happens. I break down. After 5 minutes of uncontrollable sobbing, I am finally able to muster up a simple few words. I am so sorry, sob, wail. Why are you sorry? It's okay to feel. I suspect you haven't been allowing yourself to feel much of anything at all, huh? I want so badly to ask Catherine why she feels that way. What is it about my behavior, my energy, that has made her so quick to conclude that I haven't experienced a real feeling in years? But I can't ask her that. The fact that this total stranger, the fact that a blonde woman with a Kate Gosselin-style haircut, a woman who has a dream catcher in her window, has somehow seen through my glittery armor of fashion and makeup and jewelry, the same armor that fools everyone around me, even my own blood family, into thinking I am just great, makes me cry even harder. I feel exposed, but I don't feel embarrassed. I feel relieved. I feel like a cozy blanket has suddenly wrapped itself around my body. I feel seen. It's okay, Catherine says, gazing into my subconscious in a way that doesn't feel violating, just hyper-attentive and loving. You know, feelings can't kill you. They can't? I whimper. I feel like a little girl who is just finding out that the monsters she is convinced live beneath her bed aren't real, just figments of her wild imagination, and that she is safe and that everything is going to be okay. No, feelings can't kill you. Catherine pauses. Running from them can. I blow my nose. A lifetime of green snot splatters into the Kleenex. When was the last time I blew my nose? How much toxic bullshit have I been storing inside of myself? What does that mean? I'm starting to feel desperate, like I'm sitting in a coffee shop with God and have only 5 minutes to be explained the true meaning of life. I want answers now before it's too late. Running from them by doing destructive things, drinking yourself to death, blacking out, abusing drugs, or suicide. She says all of this without an ounce of emotion in her voice. This isn't a performance. This is the real shit. I am shook. This is exactly what I have been doing. I have been running away from my feelings, and my tactics are all deadly. Pill popping, binge drinking on antidepressants, climbing into cars with inebriated friends. But the bad feelings, they're so painful, I shiver. What if they never go away? The beautiful thing about feelings is that they're temporary, Zara. Feelings. They fade. And when you stop fearing your feelings, you just might find that they aren't as bad as you think they are. A timer goes off. The session is over. Catherine hugs me. I exhale into her arms. It is the first time in years I have really let myself be hugged. That night, I don't take any Klonopin for the second night in a row. I don't drink wine either. I don't puff on a joint. I lay in bed and stare at the ceiling, sober as a nun. I repeat Catherine's words in my head, like they're one of those new pop songs you can't get enough of, so you just replay them over and over and over again to scratch the itch. Feelings can't kill you. Running from them can. Feelings are temporary. They fade. When you stop fearing them, you'll realize they aren't so bad. Feelings can't kill you. Running from them can. Over the course of the next several months, I see Catherine twice a week. I trade in my monthly session with my psychiatrist, more like an expensive drug dealer, for bi-weekly sessions with a therapist I actually speak to. I cut my antidepressant dose in half. I am committed to finding Zara again, which really means I am committed to learning how to feel again, because I am no one without my feelings. Going to therapy twice a week is not easy. I have to face some serious shit in therapy. Nestled in Catherine's couch, I cry more than I've ever cried before. My face is actually swollen for 2 months. Yet at the same time, it is the most exciting and uniquely empowering journey I have ever been on. Each week, I dig into the folds of my mind and I pull back a new layer. I stare at the raw, naked truth. Every time I pull back a fresh layer, I am met with a different, forgotten memory to unearth. I dig so deep inside of myself, I eventually find diamonds buried in there. But before I get to the pretty things, I have to deal with the ugly things. I am a 12-year-old girl telling a grown man that I am 18. My face is round like a child, but my boobs are round like a woman's. The man invites me to a party in his hotel room, and I say yes, because he's looking at me like I'm a fabulous piece of art, and I love the attention. His lips brush up against mine, and his large man hands make their way down my pants. I let him touch me. I am frozen, paralyzed, asleep like Snow White. He lets me go, probably sensing I am younger than I had claimed. I run into the night. An IV drip of shame hooks into my vein and doses me with embarrassment and humiliation and guilt every hour on the hour after that night. The following Monday in social studies class, I decide I'm going to start counting calories. Counting calories is its own form of self-medication. It's such an obsessive habit, one that allows my mind to focus on that singular task while everything else fades away. I begin to fixate on numbers and math, calories in and calories out, which is so much easier than fixating on the strange sexual experience I can't make sense of or talk to any of my friends about. I fear my parents will be ashamed of me if I tell them what happened that night. And my friends, they already call me a slut behind my back because I'm a young girl with boobs. And that's what happens to young girls with boobs. I am 16 and my parents are out of town, so I let this senior boy come over to my house. He is armed with a bottle of 151. We listen to Elliott Smith on my back porch and chain smoke cigarettes and take swigs right out of the bottle. I quickly realize he is way more drunk than I am, even though he weighs twice as much. We begin kissing, which is like fine, I guess. But then he pushes my skinny limbs onto the bed, my teenage bed with the tacky leopard print sheets I'd begged my mother to buy me. His clammy, drunken hands rip my underwear right in half. He throws them like a baseball across the room and tries to push himself inside of me. This time I don't go limp. I fight him. I scratch him with my baby pink acrylic nails. He is so drunk he can't fight back and ends up passing out in my bed, snoring and drooling on my beloved leopard print pillowcase. I relocate to my brother's room. He is away at college, down the hall. I hear his footsteps creep down the stairs at 5 a.m. That old familiar asshole, shame, wraps his long, spindly fingers around my neck. I am angry. I am angry at myself. This is my fault. I'm suddenly overcome with the very real fear of being a girl. A girl doesn't invite a boy over to her house if she doesn't want to have her underwear torn in half. This is when I discover white wine. Oh, white wine. I could write poetry about white wine. That soothing, velvety, pale yellow liquid derived from grapes. Cheap grapes from places like New Zealand and France and Napa Valley. The substance that Lady Gaga promises will put an end to all of your blues in her song Grigio Girls. I began stealing wine out of my parents' stash regularly after that night. I really, really like wine. The razor-sharp edges of reality are nice and rounded out when I drink wine. The hardest memory to plunge from my subconscious is strangely the most recent. It is only a few years old, but I had stuffed that one so deep down I had to remove it with pliers. I am living in Notting Hill in London in a speck of a studio all alone. I am 23. I don't have many real friends in the UK, but I do boast a roster of drinking buddies. I trudge over to my local pub a lot because I'm starting to experience panic attacks for the first time, and my beloved white wine seems to be the only thing that halts that scary rush of adrenaline. Plus, did you know that in British pubs you can order small, medium, and large glasses of wine? I always order a large, and suck down at least 3 a night. 2 equals a full bottle. This particular night at my local pub, I've sucked down at least 4 large wines. I realize it's 11 p.m. and I work the early shift at the makeup counter the following morning, so I stumble home, trying to ignore the shadow of a boy creature stumbling behind me. The boy follows me into my tiny, bright pink girl sanctuary of a flat and pushes me onto the couch and manically begins grabbing me by my braids. It hurts. I'm wearing a spandex, bright yellow Betsy Johnson dress, and he's pulled it over my head. He's kissing me with rough lips, and he smells like poison. The rest fades to black. The next morning, the boy is gone, but I can smell his venom on my skin. I wash him off me with water so hot that the smoke alarm actually goes off in my apartment. I call out sick from work. My Scottish boss is very sweet and nice and tells me to feel better and to drink a hot toddy. I trudge into a pharmacy and request the morning after pill just in case, I knew. In England, they make you go into a little booth and make sure you weren't assaulted before giving you the pill. No way, I say, smiling like a psychopath. The counselor is visibly freaked out by my superficial grin. I bat my lashes at him, and I see he's decided it's okay. I'm just one of those overly friendly American girls with overly bleached teeth. I go back home, splash my face with Arctic cold water, and stare at myself in the mirror. I look thin, which pleases me. Zara, you can let this destroy you, or you can pretend it never happened. I choose the latter and go on my first antidepressant, Lexapro. I start dabbling with quick fix pharmaceuticals like Valium and Xanax and Klonopin and Ambien and continue to count calories and drink wine too. In order to feel feelings, whether they're happy or sad, blissful or devastating, one thing is required: vulnerability. That steel wall you've spent so many years hiding behind, it needs to be knocked the fuck down if you want to feel. I don't think that there's anything on the planet more vulnerable than sex. I like to think of myself as a modern, sex-positive feminist, but I would never, ever, ever downplay the vulnerability of sex, especially when penetration is involved. Someone is inside of you. It's intense. It's more intimate than anything else in the world. I never even realized the weight of sex until I spoke about it with Catherine in therapy. When your first few experiences with the most vulnerable act in the world are frightening, it's understandable that you never want to put yourself in a vulnerable position ever again. Anytime you feel vulnerable, even if it's not sexual, even if it's merely opening up to a friend or a mentor, automatically reminds you of the trauma that you endured, so you shut down shop. Lower the blinds, lock the door, tape the "do not enter" sign to the shattered glass storefront. At least that's what I did. Because I put this protective armor over myself every single day, I cut myself off from all feelings. After all, you can't just experience the good feelings. It doesn't work like that. If you numb yourself to the bad feelings, you're numbing yourself to the good feelings too. And since not feeling anything is against the very nature of the human experience, my feelings fought back. Feelings long to be felt. I didn't care. I fought them back. I found ways to knock them into the ground no matter what was going on in my life. The death of a friend, a heartbreak, a career rejection. Sorry, guys. I kicked the shit out of my feelings with the help of the two toughest brutes on the planet: booze and drugs. I watched my friends fight their own battles against feelings too. Violet jogged so much she broke every single one of her toes. Beatrix on-leg shopped her way into $30,000 of debt. We were all looking for a way to distract ourselves from the heaviness of real life. We were all looking for a way to nod out of reality. There are a million ways to numb. 2 million, probably more. I don't know what half of them are, but here's what I do know. Running away from your feelings can most definitely kill you if you dive headfirst into the world of drugs and drinking and mindless risk. But those of you who excessively shop or have empty sacks or simply binge watch TV as your drug of choice, yeah, you might not physically die, but something else will. Something else will die. Something deeper and more profound than your body will wither into nothingness. Your soul, the very essence of you, will be slaughtered if you continue to put roadblocks between yourself, your feelings, and the past you're so fucking terrified to confront.
Your spirit leaves your body when you stop being present, and you are not present when you're going through the motions in life. You're living in a fog. You're not experiencing the beautiful, nuanced, emotionally rich life humankind is supposed to live. And what I find to be the most gut-wrenchingly sad part of all of this is you lose your ability to evolve when you lose your ability to feel. Because your feelings exist for a reason, other than to simply torture you and keep you up all night, stewing in your sweat. For an example, pain. Pain is a wise indicator that something is not right. Same with anxiety. Anxiety, which I find to be the most harrowing feeling of all, is also one that I've learned to value the most. I am anxious when I'm not in alignment with my purpose. I wake up with anxiety when I'm going to a job I detest. I feel anxiety in the presence of people who are inherently bad for me. Feeling anxious is wildly, wildly uncomfortable, but holy shit, it's also quite beautiful. It's my higher self saying, get the hell out of here. Make a change, bitch. Stay away from that damn friend. She'll screw you over. If I numb my anxiety completely, I end up numbing the most important thing a woman has, her intuition. You can't have intuition without emotion. In fact, what if intuition and emotions are actually the same thing? When you honor your feelings, you'll find that they're here to guide you back into the right place. Think of feelings as badass guardian angels who are whispering into your ear, this job is bad for you, apply for a new one. This boy is a scumbag, that's why you feel uncomfortable around him. Get the hell out of his house. What happened to you was terrible. That's why this darkness is following you around. Let's get you help. When I started embracing feelings, I realized I wasn't happy in Florida. I realized the underlying anxiety I was constantly numbing was my body telling me to move back to New York, that I belonged in the frenetic energy of New York, and that if I could move there, I might actually attain a sense of fulfillment, the kind that exists without a full glass of champagne and a purse full of pills. The fear I had about moving to New York, the incessant anxiety that I wouldn't make it, was also important. It catapulted me into working my ass off and scoring my dream job. I was terrified about being jobless in New York, that's for sure, but rather than popping a pill to numb the fear, I actually let it be my driving force. I poured my fear into the deepest, most intense job search I have ever done in my life. I came to realize that this incessant, restless fire that lives inside of me, the one that had been snuffed out by all those happy pills and drinks and tiny bumps of coke, wasn't actually dangerous. There wasn't something wrong with me like the doctors and teachers had told me when I was a kid. Anyone else diagnosed with ADHD for daydreaming too much? It was actually my creativity. What if I channeled that burning sensation into a creative outlet? I started to think back to what I did as a teen with all these fiery feelings. What did I do before I even knew how to self-medicate? Before the walls came tumbling up, what did I do with that fire? I wrote. I journaled. In fact, I had a wildly popular life journal in the early 2000s that described the day-to-day drama of my angst-ridden teen life. I had loved my life journal. It gave me so much release. I processed the thoughts swirling through my head through writing and sharing. So at 25, I began to write again. I wrote furiously. I wrote feverishly. I wrote like my life depended on it because it did. Screw it. I'll start a blog. I decided one day. I was scared as hell to put my work out there, but I did it anyway. And guess what? People actually connected to my silly little blog. Little by little, I built a loyal, engaged audience. Within 6 months after starting my blog, I got offered a full-time writing job in New York City at the popular millennial publication Elite Daily. Someone who knew someone at Elite Daily followed my blog and loved it and thought I would be a good fit. I wound up moving to New York with a decent salary, a dream job, and a passion for writing that no one could ever, ever, ever take from me. That's the beauty of passion. No person can snatch it from you. A job that doesn't work out can't snatch it from you either. Only drugs can. After so much therapy, I moved to New York with a newfound resilience about me. A strength that lived deep in my bones, a strength that was far more powerful than any of the social or drug-induced armor I'd ever tossed over my limbs. Because when I finally cried and sobbed and stared into the pain of my past, I wasn't so scared of it. I wasn't so scared of myself and the dark places my brain would venture off into if left unattended. Obviously, the pain of sexual trauma will never leave me, but finally confronting the darkness of those times cracked open some light into my heart. I developed a deeper sense of empathy and connection to womankind, and in my willingness to be vulnerable, I forged close relationships with my readers. My readers began to open up to me in ways they wouldn't have if I wasn't in touch with my past. Art only makes a real impact when it's authentic. I was finally authentically me because I was no longer disregarding my past. I felt light. I didn't have to drag that heavy baggage around with me anymore. Feeling my feelings had been the ultimate cleanse. So to all my babes who are reading this right now, actively numb or stuck in a shitty relationship, or racked with the kind of depression where you don't feel anything at all, scared of feelings for reasons unbeknownst to you, I want to encourage you to stop fighting the feelings. Don't just embrace them. Fuck them. Fuck them like that rock star you've been dreaming of fucking since you were a tween. Make love to them as intensely as you made love to that toxic lover your body couldn't get enough of. Especially the scary feelings, the demons. You'll realize that those demons that you so vehemently fear are cowards, like that toxic lover. When you confront the demon, when you gaze unblinkingly into his ice-cold eyes and say, I am not afraid of you. In fact, I'm going to let you into my apartment and we're going to hash it out. He softens. He doesn't look so much like a demon anymore. In fact, he looks kind of like you. Beautiful, afraid, scarred, nuanced. And once you connect to him, you will become one. You'll understand that the demon under your bed isn't actually a demon, so there's nothing to be afraid of anymore. In fact, the demon under your bed was actually a guardian angel who was never there to hurt you. She was a feeling that exists to help you find your way in the world. And isn't that fucking beautiful? The demon was an angel all along. Thank you guys so much for being my first audience. That was intense for me to read out loud. But I felt really safe with you guys, so thank you for providing that. And you know where the hell to get the book. Amazon, Barnes & Noble, all that stuff. I'm not really trying to hard sell it to you guys. I just wanted to have this moment with you and really also just express my gratitude, because you guys have just been like my family for a really long time, and I'm so grateful. I'm so goddamn grateful. So let's keep connecting. Let's keep feeling our feelings. Reach out to me if you need your lesbian big sister to talk to. I'm always here. And I love you. Bye-bye. How do I get off? Wait, I can't get off. Oh, end.